Richard Simmons' friends have finally broken their silence on the emotional breaking point that led the fitness icon to retreat from public life nearly a decade ago. While theories have long swirled, from health concerns to personal betrayals, those close to Simmons say the truth is deeply human: exhaustion, heartbreak, and a world that refused to let him rest. According to insiders, the real straw that broke the camel's back was the relentless pressure Simmons felt to constantly perform, paired with the betrayal of someone he trusted implicitly. The moment reportedly came in 2014 after a close confidant of Simmons allegedly violated his privacy by attempting to profit from deeply personal information. That breach devastated the energetic star, who had always valued loyalty above all else. He felt like he couldn't trust anyone anymore. One longtime friend said, "Richard gave everything to his fans: his time, his energy, his heart. But behind the scenes, someone he thought he could count on crossed the line, and it broke him." Simmons, known for his flamboyant style, infectious energy, and larger-than-life presence, had built an empire not just on fitness, but on genuine emotional connection with his audience. Unlike many celebrities, Simmons returned every fan letter. He called those who wrote to him, remembered birthdays, and often took personal phone calls from those struggling with weight or depression. He made people feel seen, said another friend. But that kind of openness comes at a cost. When the world feels entitled to your energy 24/7, it becomes suffocating. In 2014, Simmons abruptly vanished from the spotlight. He stopped teaching at his famed Beverly Hills fitness studio, Simmons. He ceased public appearances, and most alarmingly to many, he cut off even longtime friends and colleagues. At the time, bizarre rumors swirled that Simmons was being held hostage by his housekeeper, that he had transitioned genders, that he was gravely ill. The star consistently denied those claims through limited statements, but his silence only fueled the frenzy. It wasn't until 2016 that Simmons gave a brief phone interview to Today, assuring fans he was fine and simply taking time for himself. But for many, that explanation seemed too simple. Why would a man who once thrived on connections suddenly shut the world out? Friends now say that Simmons' choice was deliberate and overdue. "He didn't owe anyone an explanation," said a former studio regular. "He gave us all so much for decades. Maybe the real mystery is why we didn't let him go sooner." Simmons' disappearance sparked a wave of concern that culminated in the 2017 podcast Missing Richard Simmons, which attempted to trace what really happened to the star. While the show drew millions of listeners, Simmons himself never participated, and friends say he was hurt by how it portrayed him as a puzzle to be solved, rather than a person deserving of privacy. "It wasn't kind," said a close confidant. "He saw it as more intrusion. People wanted answers, but nobody asked what he wanted." Simmons, now 76, reportedly leads a quiet life in Los Angeles. He exercises at home, enjoys his garden, and remains in contact with a very small circle of friends. Though he's largely withdrawn from the spotlight, he still sends out brief messages through social media, most recently thanking fans for their birthday wishes and assuring them he was doing well. Sources close to Simmons say he is not angry or bitter, but simply tired. "He gave his whole soul to the world," one friend noted. "When you do that, at some point, you run out. And if you're lucky, you get to step away before it destroys you." There is no plan for a formal return, despite ongoing fan speculation. Those close to Simmons say he's content to remain out of the public eye, focusing instead on peace, health, and simplicity. "He still cares," said one longtime friend, "but he finally chose to care for himself first." In a world where celebrity often feels transactional, Richard Simmons remains a rare figure, someone whose love for his audience was real, but whose need to retreat was even more so. The final straw wasn't drama, scandal, or mystery. It was simply the recognition that he had done enough and deserved to rest.